All right, we are live. I'm actually broadcasting to YouTube, Facebook, and so Facebook on my personal profile and Facebook on the business page. So this is a first time I've broadcast to more than one location. I was recommended to do that by Ken Walls, who I actually had on the podcast yesterday. So I'm excited to drop that here soon. But let's get right into it, guys. So whatever platform you're watching from, this all still applies. Basically, we have a website giveaway in 1 week. And so, as a lead up to that, I wanted to talk about some of the things that are important when you're setting up a website. I want to talk about some of the things that we take into account when we're working on things. If if you're a client of ours, things that we look at to help get you to show up in front of more eyeballs, which eventually means you're going to get more customers, right? So, website tip number one. I'm hoping to do one for the next few days as we lead up to the giveaway. But either way, it's still applicable no matter when you watch this. So keywords, location keywords, very important when you're setting up a website. A lot of people, they'll do all the work. They'll spend a ton of money. They'll have someone come in and optimize it for SEO, optimize it for all of these things. But then when you look through the copy of the site, it just talks about what they do. It doesn't talk about where they do it, right? These are important things that Google looks at, especially if you're a local business. When you start ranking nationally, that becomes a different game. But if you're looking to rank locally in your area, you got to talk about the area that you're located in, and talk about it several times through the text. So don't get too crazy, and don't obviously let's say you're in some town. Let's just pick New York. That's a pretty hard market to rank in, but let's say you're in New York. We'll just use that for the purpose of discussion. So you work in New York, you offer paving services. If all you have on your website is just paving services, we do this, we do milling, we do patching, we do striping, we do seal coating, that's all fine and good, but there's a ton of other businesses around that do all the same things. There's tons of businesses across the country, tons of businesses here in Canada, in the US, all around the world, right? And Google needs a way to help it to know who it should be showing these websites to, right? So if someone's in New York, Google knows that they're searching from New York, and they're gonna look through the thousands of websites that are online, and it's gonna sort out things that are irrelevant or that it thinks are irrelevant, and it's gonna try and match you up as a searcher with something that looks like what you're searching for, right? So if someone's in New York, Google's gonna look for websites that talk about New York, and there are a bunch of other things too, but basically, if you don't tell Google by having it in your copy or having it in the content of your website, then Google doesn't really know. It's a lot harder for it to tell where exactly you're located and where you offer service. So that's why you'll find with all the sites that we do, we make sure that it's very obvious. And it might seem redundant to you, or it might seem redundant to someone looking, but it's not redundant because it helps match up people who are looking for your services in the area that you offer the services with your website, which eventually leads them to call you or leave a quote or whatever, right? So as you're going down through your website, make sure that your content mentions the location. So, you could have at the top New York City's best paving contractor, New York City's best seal coating company, or whatever, right? And then in the first paragraph, mention something about New York, mention something about the suburbs that you work in, and you can even talk about some of the things that are relevant to that area, to really cement the fact that you are indeed talking about New York City and the suburb that you work in this example, right? So highly recommend you take that into account. That's something you can do today. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can find us on the web or on Facebook at Blue Crocus Solutions. But this is something that's very key, and if it's not done on your website properly, you're going to have a harder time showing up. It's not to say that you won't show up, but it is something that you could be doing that would allow you to show up better. So guys, take that into account. Go through. I'm happy to hop on. I always say this. I offer 30-minute free consultations where I'll just go through everything that you're doing. And based on my experience, I'll give you some tips and whatnot of things that have worked well for our clients or that I've seen working well in different markets. So don't hesitate to make that happen. But I wanted to hop on here. I wanted to let you guys know this tip, this trick that relates to websites, because the end game is we're in business to make money, right? So if we can get more people calling in, leaving email quotes, etc., then that's better for business. So that is your Blue Crocus Solutions tip of the day. Go implement that, see how it, see what it does for your business, and then get back to me. But if you have any questions, reach out and I will help you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.